Snorlax and Slowking were a duo that did pretty well in the 2017 format, and something that I ended up re-watching recently. So I thought, why not make a Slowking and Snorlax team in Regulation H and seeing how well it can perform. We have the Slowking Snorlax team. The amount of support that Slowking has for Snorlax is absolutely incredible. You have the Trick Room with the Slowking, you have the Heal Pulse that can help out, heal up the Snorlax, and this Slowking has some techs. So we run Regenerate on the Slowking. It's actually an accident. I was supposed to have Oblivious on the Slowking and just forgot to change it. And then I thought to myself, you know what? Most players aren't taunting a Slowking anyway because of the Oblivious normally being the ability on Slowking. So they don't even bother going for a taunt if they do have it. So having Regenerate health can be really nice at times, especially with pivoting around with double U-turns. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to keep it. So we have the Regenerated Slowking, Safety Goggles to help out against the Amoonguss and the Sleep moves. And the Skill Swap tech is a big one. So you might be thinking, why do I have Skill Swap on the Slowking? And one thing that I thought about was Sinistcha and Snorlax is a really good combination. I think it could be better in a lot of aspects because of the fact that you have the Ghost typing with Snorlax. The Hospitality is really nice. And of course, you do have like Life Dew and Rage Powder redirection that can help support the Snorlax even further. So normally Sinistcha might be a better one. However, there was one thing I was considered about, and that is the Dondozo teams out there. And Dondozo's a little bit strange because normally one of the best methods to counter Dondozo would be Haze. And I don't exactly want to run Haze if I'm running a Belly Drum and trying to commit to a Snorlax. So I was trying to think of other ways I could beat it. And one of the modes that I considered was running Skill Swap on the Slowking. And what this allows me to do is go for Skill Swap onto Dondozos that have Unaware. And if those Dondozos have Unaware, then I can Skill Swap, get rid of the Unaware so they are affected by the +6 Snorlax that can hit them. And I could even give Unaware into my Snorlax at times. Skill Swap is also a really cool move because there's a lot of applications that I could see it going for. For instance, I could Skill Swap an Archaludon, get rid of, for instance, the Stamina, which can be really nice if I need to hit it multiple times with my Snorlax and don't have to worry about the defense increases. I can pass it to Snorlax. I can also Skill Swap away and Intimidate from my opponent and also Intimidate their mons at the same time. There's just a lot of applications that I think can be really cool with Skill Swap. Terra Electric, mainly because I was thinking, okay, I need a typing I felt that was resistant to Golden Ghost, make it rain, neutral against Ghosts at the very least, and a lot of strong flying coverage out there. And just Electro Shot I felt like was a big one. I feel like Archaludon Pelipper lead, they could go for Electro Shot, Hurricane double up in the Slowking, and it could be a disaster. So I thought, you know what, Terra Electric covers most bases with that, so that's why I have the Terra Electric there. The Snorlax Belly Drum with Double Edge for the strongest damage output, high horsepower for the ground coverage, for the Archaludons and Steel types like Golden Go, and it protects. Since I have Heal Pulse and Grassy Terrain, I don't really need Recycle on the Snorlax. This one running Thick Fat Citrus Berry over Gluttony, and I just like the Thick Fat ability because I'm running Terra Grass on this, mainly to help out against Amoonguss and other redirection mons like Rage Powder as well as Sleep Powder. That's nice, but it takes huge advantage of the Terra Grass. The Thick Fat combination is really powerful. I thought that was great. Double Edge for the extra power, for just making sure I can get quick knockouts under Trick Room, which I think is necessary. The Rillaboom that's able to help out here with just Grassy Terrain, great pivot support, helps out against the Psy Spam combos out there, and can pivot around with the U-turn, strong damage with Woodhammer and Grassy Glide, just a solid mon in general. We have the Fire Tauros, which is really interesting, and I had Incineroar originally, but I didn't really like how Incineroar was playing on this team because it felt like I was playing very, very passive, and I felt like having only like Snorlax as the main damage dealer isn't that great. So I thought, okay, I want to Intimidate mon. I still want fire coverage. Archaludon is still annoying. Screens on opposing side can also be tricky. So I thought, you know what? Tauros Fire seems pretty good. You're able to get screens with the Raging Bull. That's also a fire type move because of the form in the Fire Tauros. We have Close Combat is able to threaten Archaludon and is able to do a lot of damage. Will-O-Wisp is nice paired with the Snorlax, of course. Helps out against King Gambit, which was something that gave the original version of this team so much trouble. So I thought, okay, having the fighting coverage, having the Will-O-Wisp option just seems really nice. And then Protect, I like the Clear Amulet here because you aren't affected by opposing Intimidates. and of course the Terra Grass because I don't have safety goggles on this Tauros and I have on the Slowking, just in case I need it for Amoonguss. The Dragapult I thought was a really nice addition because I wanted something that was really fast and could be like a nuke option if I needed to lead it, or it could be a great cleanup option in the back. And I thought Infiltrator, Dragapult, Choice Specs, it will do so much damage. Terra Dragon, Draco Meters hit hard. Shadow Ball is nice. A Ghost typing paired with a normal type is great because of the resistances and immunities out there, where Snorlax is immune to the Ghost types that are super effective against the Dragapult, and then the Fire type Pokemon that are super effective against Snorlax, the Dragapult helps out, and Dragapult helps out against hitting the Ghost types that Snorlax can't hit sometimes. So just having all those combinations felt like it was a really good choice, and having a fast mode on his team seemed pretty good, especially with the Tauros adding speed. Final Mon, I felt that I just wanted something that was able to help out against maybe flying types. Just again, another Pokemon that's is able to set up, so I have another setup mode just in case. And also the fact that, again, I think having a Pokemon that's able to help out against Golden Go, having a Pokemon that can help out against Ghost types in general that Snorlax doesn't appreciate, the King Gambit does help threaten that quite a bit. So Swords Dance King Gambit, while can take advantage of the Trick Room, also has a priority to play outside of Trick Room as well. If you would like to check out the details of the team, they'll be linked in the description down below. Hydreigon, Incineroar, Archaludon, Whimsicott, Rillaboom, and Amoonguss. Interesting to see Archaludon here. We normally see it on Rain, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Whimsicott only gets Sunny Day and not Rain Dance? If I'm not mistaken. Let's see. What do I want to go in this matchup? Snorlax can be pretty good. There is the Whimsicott though, which is a massive threat I do have to fear. Tauros is pretty good. I'd say Tauros is excellent against this team, especially for the coverage against triple grass types, I just realized, and the triple fighting week. So I definitely want to bring it. King Gambit's not bad, but it's not like amazing either. I think I'm gonna go with Slowking. Slowking's pretty good. I think I'm gonna just do Slowking Snorlax for the most part. I think it's pretty solid. If I have to play Amoonguss, I can always... The only problem is the Whimsicott. I need to get rid of Whimsicott quickly. And one of my best answers to Whimsicott is either Tauros or it's through... just going straight for the double edge. I think I could probably set up a Belly Drum in the later parts of the game, since this isn't a... Probably this isn't an Electroshot or Archaludon, unless this is one of those old sets where they ran Power Herb and Sturdy, which has been a thing before, and I guess some Stamina Archaludons did run Power Herb in the past, but I don't think it's going to be the case here. Incineroar Amoonguss is completely all right, but it's not amazing here. Okay. So they do have a pretty good start as a lead. I am actually going to go out into Rillaboom. I can go into Rillaboom and I can just go for a... I want to Protect. I think Protect is fine. I don't know if they're going to go for like a knockoff Spore into Slowking immediately, which would not be ideal. I think let's start this off with a Scald into Incineroar and a swap into Rillaboom. If you're sporing a slot, I feel like it might be the Snorlax. Let's see. I could be completely wrong. I also want to confirm the speed tiers on the Amoonguss. I think having the speed tier on Amoonguss, knowing if it's going to be potentially faster or slower, would be ideal, because that allows my plan for Snorlax. Let's see. I think I'm going to come out into what was the Snorlax. Nice. And if this is Spore, I have Spore immunities. Good. Scald off into the Incineroar, as a Spore did go out into the Slowking. That's actually a really nice turn. I got some pretty good damage into the Incineroar, and I could actually go for like a fake out Scald into the Incineroar if I really want to. And I don't see too much of a drawback. Hydreigon, I guess, could get in for free, which is like the only concern. But I don't think it's too bad. I think I'm going to go for it. If they go for Pollen Puff, that's okay. They stay in, which is nice because I get a huge amount of damage yourself. It's Citrus Berry. Okay, so I'm not getting the KO with Scald. But let's see if the Amoonguss has anything like Sludge Bomb. Rage Powder. I just revealed I'm safety goggles. And what? I have safety goggles. You just saw I have safety goggles. Or wait, did they spawn a Rillaboom and I didn't notice? I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Okay. I'll take it. I'm just gonna set up my Trick Room, I think, and I'm gonna Wood Hammer the Incineroar because Wood Hammer might KO at this range. Since I'm not intimidated, and being able to punish the Incineroar with the Wood Hammer would be really nice. The only downside is if they switch out Incineroar, they can have a Pollen Puff situation later in the game. I gotta figure out a way to break through the Amoonguss quickly. We're gonna actually see the Incineroar retreat, which is fine. Our Caledon could come in. Maybe it's the Hydreigon. It is gonna be the Rillaboom on their side. Okay, that's not too bad. So Wood Hammer gonna come out into their Rillaboom. That did a lot of damage. Was that crit? That just did a lot. Okay, they go for Pollen Puff into my own Rillaboom for chip damage. That's completely fine. And I do get to trick him off. All right, beautiful. I don't know if they're going to try to pin the Slowking slot. I think my safest play is just to go out into Tauros. I like Tauros a lot for the Slowking slot, and I like just going for a U-turn into their Rillaboom and trying to get in my Snorlax. I don't know if they're going to fake out. I don't really see a point of them going for fake out. I could see them going for Pollen Puff and they swap to Incineroar to gain some health back, and I think that's completely fine. Yeah, that would be completely fine because I can go for Belly Drum potentially the next turn if I want to. So let's see if they do make a swap or not. We will bring out our Tauros as the Intimidate for the Rillaboom, so its damage output is going to be a lot less. We really just want to try to get rid of this Amoonguss as quickly as possible. Grassy Glide going to be fired off. All right. And they go for Pollen Puff for self-healing. Not into their Incineroar that they could have had, so that actually works out really well for me. And I do get a U-turn off into the Rillaboom and do some pretty massive damage. That Rillaboom, I just don't know. Is it fast? Because I feel like Wood Hammer and U-turn did so much. I'm going to my Snorlax. I go for my Terra Grass now. And I think I'm going to go for Close Combat into the Rillaboom, as it covers for Incineroar trying to switch in, which I think is pretty good. And I think I'm going to go for Terra Grass Belly Drum. Wait, how many turns of Trick Room are left out? There's 3 turns of Trick Room. I should be fine, yeah. I'm just going to go for a Terra Grass Belly Drum. Because -1 Rillaboom shouldn't be able to threaten the Snorlax, especially with the Terra Grass. We are going to see the swap from the Rillaboom. That is the Incineroar beautiful, so I am able to get the KO into Incineroar even if they go for a self Pollen Puff, or if they attempt to Spore the Snorlax. I do have the Terra Grass to cover for it. So, and what's nice about Belly Drum is it does ignore any stat drops that we had previously. We go to max attack regardless, so this is a very, very good of a situation. Now, unless an Amoonguss has a tech like Clear Smog, we should be all right. We see a Terra from Amoonguss actually, which not what I expected. I guess I could Spore the Tauros too. That is an option I forgot to consider, but I think it's fine. We're gonna see the Terra Water come out from the Amoonguss, which I guess they're expecting a fire move from Tauros in case. Oh, they Rage Powder. Okay. I do get the Belly Drum off. I mean, it's just an interesting... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That ends up working out pretty well for me, I'd say. I guess they just want to make sure that Incineroar can't get knocked out here so they can go for a fake out potentially. That Close Combat does a good amount of damage to the Amoonguss actually. All right, pretty good turn, pretty good turn. Rocky Helmet is on the Amoonguss confirmed. So they can go for fake out Pollen Puff. I'm okay if they go for Pollen Puff here. I ignore the Amoonguss completely. Grassy Terrain disappears. I do actually want to reset it for my Snorlax because Snorlax getting the health is nice. I think I'm just going to protect my Snorlax and go out into my Rillaboom. If they go for Pollen Puff, that's okay. If they go for a Flare Blitz read into the Tauros and get my Rillaboom, that's fine too. I just want to get my Tauros back in so I can get another Intimidate off in the later parts of the game, because just having the Intimidate for the Rillaboom as well as the Incineroar is just nice. I'm trying to figure out what their last Pokemon is because we haven't seen it yet, which I'm kind of surprised about. Rillaboom gonna come in? I don't think it's Whimsicott. I think it's probably one of the dragons. As we do protect, we also threaten with grassy. We threaten the Amoonguss with Grassy Glide, which is also great. They protect Amoonguss too. That's beautiful. Don't have to worry about Spore. We're gonna see Fake Out Protect. Okay, they expected me to attack the Amoonguss, so they want to stall out another turn of Trick Room. I understand it. It works out well for me though, because I can Grassy Glide the Amoonguss. Pretty sure Grassy Glide KOs. I think it probably does at this range, and I'm gonna high horsepower the Incineroar. The only mon it doesn't cover is, I guess, Hydreigon, and even Hydreigon I'm okay with. Hydreigon is a little bit scary in this endgame just because of how much damage it does, but I think in the long term I'm all right. We're gonna see the swap out from the Amoonguss into the Rillaboom, so they get the regenerate recovery, which is perfectly acceptable, as it looks like I'm gonna get the knockout Incineroar. Grassy Glide, that did so much damage. Okay, that one's the critical hit. That one makes more sense. High horsepower is gonna finish off the Incineroar, so Incineroar goes down, and now they want to go Amoonguss. It's threatened. They have to probably bring out their last tier, and I just got to figure out a way to position well against it. First dimensions return to normal. If it's Hydreigon, I might even survive the attack. If it's Arcalon, I feel like I survived the attack too, so regardless, I don't see a bad spot here. Amoonguss gonna come in. I don't think you could go Amoonguss. I just Wood Hammer and I protect. You can Pollen Puff, sure. That's fine by me. Are you gonna protect Amoonguss and pivot out your Rillaboom? But that's risky if I decide just to attack here. You have Clear Smog? I guess you could go for Fake Out into Rillaboom and Clear Smog the Snorlax, but you have Pollen Puff? No, we saw Pollen Puff, we saw Rage Powder, we saw Spore, and we saw Protect. We know you don't have it. Wood Hammer just gonna pick up the knock on Amoonguss. All right, I don't know what they're doing here. So Amoonguss goes down. That's their Terra option too, so I don't have to worry about any Terras on Hydreigon or Arcalon. You go for U-turn into the Snorlax, okay. I mean, yeah, I can't really say much. Looks like Snorlax is just going to be able to break through this team, if I'm not mistaken. We're back to full HP. Beautiful. So is this Arcalon? That sounds like Arcalon? It is Arcalon. I don't know what kind of Arcalon set it is, but I just don't believe it breaks through Snorlax. So I should have the game 100%. See, well, not 100% because I can still miss, I suppose. But I have a lot of tools still. My Rillaboom's around full health, +6. Snorlax is in a non-threatened position. That's slow. That Arcalon's slow. I'm still surprised I'm outspeeding a Rillaboom. If I get the U-turn off and I get a free swap, I'm gonna go out into... I'm gonna go Slowking first, actually. Because if I miss a bunch of these high horsepowers, there is something that I can do. Flash Cannon gonna come into the Slowking. Doesn't do that much damage. Even with the critical hit, that didn't do that much. High horsepower gonna finish off the Arcalon. Not sturdy. Okay. Yeah. Super big sweep. Snorlax, pretty nice. Pretty nice, I gotta say. All right. Dual weather. We have Hisuian Braviary, King Gambit, the Pelipper, Rillaboom, Farigiraf, and Torkoal. Okay, we got a lot of interesting mons here. Snorlax probably going to be good. Dragapult it's okay. I wouldn't say it's incredible. I am a little bit scared because I don't have the best answers to Pelipper in general on this team, but it should manage. I think Terra wise, it's probably going to be the Slowking. I don't really like Terra Grass on the Snorlax. Yeah, Tauros is good. It pressures the King Gambit. I gotta make sure I can pressure the King Gambit. I'm actually gonna go with a lead of Rillaboom and Snorlax, which I think has some pretty good offensive pressure against their team. Bring the Tauros in the back and then Slowking as the last. Because they have Farigiraf, we're playing a Trick Room Mind game immediately. I don't remember what Hisuian Braviary does because I never really looked at the Legends of Arceus mons that weren't really like great in other regulations. I know it gets access to like Expanding Force. I don't even know what Esper Wing does in this. I don't think they run it though. It does get access to tail. We're actually going to see Braviary Pelipper. This might just be double Hurricane strats, which is fine. I don't think that's too bad for me. As I bring out the Rillaboom and the Snorlax. Kind of wish I had King Gambit. King Gambit would have been nice in this spot. I think it's pretty acceptable though. I am going to go for a fake out. I'm going to fake out the Braviary, and I think I'm just going to go for a straight up double edge into the Pelipper, I think. We're going to see... Oh, Farigiraf. I was about to say, why is Pelipper switching out? And it's like, oh yeah, Farigiraf makes sense here. Okay. Because doesn't this thing get Sheer Force Hurricane? It's going to hurt. It is going to hurt. They target the Snorlax, which is fine. A lot of damage. Okay. Yeah, these hurricanes are gonna hurt. Double Edge gonna come out into Farig. Not bad damage. Not amazing either. Alright. I'm scared of... Well, I am scared of this. The flying coverage is a little bit weak. Maybe I should have brought my own King Gambit. My own King Gambit might have been better. I'm going to protect Snorlax because I think Snorlax needs to be safe here. Even at the cost of a Rillaboom, potentially. Oh, wow. That's a... Did we speed tie? But the Hurricane went up... Oh, no. I went for Fake Out. Yeah. I don't know how fast that thing is, but all right. Let's go into Slowking. They go for the Hurricane. I got the target wrong, unfortunately. They do target down this Slowking. Jeez, that's just doing so much damage. They go for Psychic Noise. That's not good. Kind of getting swept by the Braviary. Huh. Not bringing King Gambit was probably a mistake. I'm going to see what we can do, though. I'm going to attempt to Terra Electric and go for a double edge into the Braviary. I think my only hope is that they target the Snorlax, or not the Snorlax, the Slowking. I'm able to survive the Hurricane with the Terra Electric, and then double edge 2 shots to Braviary. I think that's my only hope right now. So let's see if I can get that hope. You go for the Hurricane, okay. I do survive. That's a clutch one. Nice. They went for Psychic Noise into Snorlax. And I'm able to get a huge double edge off into the Braviary. Big. Nice. Okay. Okay. We have fought ourselves into a position. Did I KO Farigiraf with Scald? I think that's a really important thing here. I just don't think I do. I think I always go for Scald into Braviary and double edge into Farigiraf. I think double edge always KOs the Farigiraf in case they try to reverse trick him. And that's nice because they did protect the Braviary like I thought. Okay, double edge going to come out into the Farigiraf, picks up the knockout. Excellent. And then we attempted to Scald the Braviary. All right. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Scald going to go into Protect. Is it Torkoal as the last? I just don't think it should be, because maybe it is. The problem is I feel like Torkoal is in such a weird position. Snorlax can now heal, so that's great. It is Torkoal. Oh no. All right. I am super weakened. We probably go down to Eruption. I refuse to think that we can't figure out a way out of this. I think we got to get a Scald off in a Torkoal, and we got to protect the Snorlax. Snorlax having Protect is nice. They go for Flamethrower into Snorlax. Wait, it's not Eruption? Or maybe the Torkoal has speed? Which is not what I anticipate. Scald into Torkoal, weakens the power of Eruption. Oh, it's Heat Wave Braviary. Okay. That's a nice dodge on the Slowking, although it could hurt me. I can't tell if that's going to hurt or help me. Wait, my Snorlax is faster than the Torkoal because the Torkoal is not min speed on their team. That's so huge for me, actually. Because I can go for a heal pulse into the Snorlax or attempt to and double edge the Braviary. I do want the KO on Braviary. If they protect, what does the Torkoal do? I feel like the Torkoal can't knock out the Snorlax with Thick Fat if they're only going for Flamethrower. Let's see. Flamethrower, I think we'll take it. Yes. Nice, no Burn Eater. Okay, huge heal pulse. Huge heal pulse. Okay, awesome. And now I can get Regenerate Health with Slowking. I can go out into Tauros. And I can double edge the Braviary. The Braviary is kind of in a weird pin slot because if the Braviary switches out into Pelipper, then the Weather is on my side because they set up the rain and they have a Torkoal that's trying to attack. So that works out really well. Bring out the Tauros, Intimidate off, which doesn't really matter, but I just want to safe switch into Fire type move and get recovery on the Slowking. Goodbye, Braviary. That's a huge knockout right there. Okay, awesome. And we're going to see the Earth Power. Okay. I didn't mind because Tauros doesn't really do much. Tauros does not do much for the rest of the game. That's great. Now I just have to focus down on the Pelipper because I have gotten the rain setup. So the Torkoal is just not super threatening right now. We're going to go for a close combat into the Pelipper and we're going to go for a Protect with Snorlax. And then we're going to hopefully lose. I don't know if we're going to lose our Oros this turn. I hope so because the free switch to Rila would be ideal. But let's see. Close combat. We need to chip into Pelipper. That's actually pretty good damage. Okay. Because we want to put the Pelipper into range of attacks later on. They Weather Ball the Snorlax. Is this a double up or did they Earth Power the Tauros? Which is fine. Okay, they did Earth Power. Acceptable. Tauros goes down. I think I might have this now. I think I might have this. We go out into Rila. So I think the question is, did they Terra yet? Braviary didn't Terra. Farig didn't Terra, so they still have Terra. They could have Terra Ghost. I'm going to go for a Woodhammer and a Pelipper. I think Pelipper probably protects. This could be double protect, which is fine. I'm going to go for high horsepower into Torkoal as well. Because the goal is to knock out the Pelipper. If they have Stellar Terra on Pelipper, that's the only one I'm really scared of. Torkoal protects, which is a very aggressive play. But there's no Terra from the Pelipper, which did go for the Weather Ball into the Snorlax. It's not enough damage. I am able to get a Woodhammer off into Pelipper, and that will secure the knock on the Pelipper, and I think we're safe. I think we're safe. Be high horsepower into the Torkoal. Okay. So I would probably like for a U-turn into the Torkoal. Yeah, a U-turn into Torkoal is great here, and a high horsepower into the Torkoal. This Torkoal is weird. I guess... Yeah, the Torkoal is just weird because I can't figure out, like, why is not min speed. I'm just very surprised. Maybe they just didn't want a speed tie. We're going to see Terrify on the Torkoal, which is perfectly acceptable. So it's going to have more powerful fire moves, but a U-turn going to come out into the Torkoal, chip it just a little bit. I want to get in my Slowking and start getting these grassy terrain recoveries. Because if they target down the Snorlax, the Slowking gets to heal. And it's just safer. They did have Eruption. Why didn't they? Well, I guess, again, they weren't min speed on the Torkoal. That Eruption is so sad because it's in the rain. This is the downside to using a weather like this. All right, awesome. That was just so sad. A Slowking does outspeed the Torkoal. I think we should have the game secured. I'm going to actually go for a heal pulse into Snorlax and a double edge. Yeah. Get back the health on the Snorlax. So like, yeah, now the Torkoal absolutely cannot even beat the Snorlax. They go for an Earth Power into the Slowking, which does pick up a knockout, but at this point I don't see how they would break through the Lax even. They get a critical hit on Slowking. I don't know if that matters. But you know what does? The double edge into the Torkoal. I cannot believe we got what we needed, I think. I think the fact that the Torkoal was just not min speed changed so much. Also, the fact it didn't eruption, which really paid off there. Because if they had eruption, that Slowking... Don't know if I would have been able to get the sequencing of getting the healing back with the heal pulse. So, really clutch there. Dragapult, Farigiraf, Rillaboom, Incineroar, Primarina, Golden Go. Looks like a pretty solid team that they have. Okay, the Snorlax I want to set up as quick as I possibly can. Primarina is a little bit scary because it does have access to haze, so I gotta watch out for that. But otherwise, I feel like it's pretty good. Terra-wise, not really a strong preference on Terra. Probably going to be the Slowking against the Rillaboom. So I'm thinking the Slowking, I'm thinking the Snorlax. Then I'm thinking about how good potentially King Gambit Tauros is. Rillaboom's also kind of nice. Depends on if I want Fake Out, but they do have a Farig, so Fake Out's not nearly as good. Although having the Grassy Terrain recovery could be nice. But I think I'm going to go King Gambit. King Gambit is so strong against a lot of their team if I position it correctly. So let's see what we can do here. A lot of my game plan is probably just going to be Terra to Slowking, set up Trick Room, Belly Drum hopefully, and then start going to town with KOs. That's the goal. Dragapult and Incineroar. Okay. Man, they were like, okay, you are not leading King Gambit. That is basically what they said. They're like, nope, you do not lead a King Gambit. All right, I think my play here is just to go into King Gambit and go for a Protect. Because I don't want to get my berry knocked off. That would be a terrible situation. I could go for Terra, but I don't know if they're actually going to go for a Fake Out into Slowking. I feel like if they Fake Out Slowking is pretty bad, so I'd rather just go out into King Gambit because I can threaten the Sucker Punch into the Dragapult. Or I could Kowtow. I have no idea if it's like specs on the Dragapult. Maybe it's offensive, maybe it's support, we'll see. Fake Out comes out into Slowking. Okay, yeah, perfect. Dragon Darts. All right, that wasn't what I expected, but it works out. Sure. I'm just gonna go for this can be tricky, I suppose. I'm gonna just go for a Kowtow Cleave in the Dragapult. I don't want to catch a Farig on the switch, and I'm gonna go Tauros. They switch out Dragapult. This is probably the Farig, I'd imagine, so I can catch him. Oh, Primarina. Okay. Not what I was hoping for. It's okay if I take damage. I should be able to heal back with Slowking if I position it right. But yeah, this is now not an easy situation. But it's not Shadow Ball on the Dragapult, so I don't have to worry about like a strong Shadow Ball into Slowking for a lot of damage. They go for a Flare Blitz, which is acceptable. With the Intimidate, we are able to tank it. Nice. Wonder if we could take the knock on the Primarina. Here comes the Kowtow Cleave into the Primarina. Good damage. I'm going hard into Slowking, and I'm going to go for... I want to close combat. I could double out here into Snorlax. I think I am going to double into Snorlax. There's a chance that Incineroar switches out into Dragapult. And I could definitely see that because they could want to avoid the close combat, and Incineroar still has usage for later on. So I'm going to bring out the Snorlax. I'm going to bring out the Slowking and try to reposition. Yep, okay. So Incineroar did switch out. This is going to be the Dragapult. Or Golden Go. Okay. That makes sense too. All right. I think my plan is still the same. Go for the Belly Drum. Go for the Trick Room. What's Primarina doing here? That's a good question. Hyper Voice. Okay, that's okay amount of damage. It's not Throat Spray, which is really good for me. I'm gonna go for Trick Room, and I'm gonna attempt a Belly Drum. If I don't get the Belly Drum, it's not terrible because I can Heal Pulse the following turn. What's nice about Terra Electric on the Slowking is we're resisted to the Make It Rain, which is really nice. So let's see if that's gonna be a factor. Although it's probably just gonna be Shadow Ball. I mean, doing this to try to cover Shadow Ball mainly. If they nasty plot, that works. I'll take it. Calm Mind means that they don't usually run haze, which is actually good for me. So I'll gladly take that. All right, they got greedy with the setup because I got the position to Belly Drum, and now I threaten the damage. Some very heavy damage. I don't think Primarina does nearly enough to the Snorlax, especially if I heal pulse. So I am going to heal pulse my Snorlax and high horsepower the Golden Go. And that's exactly what I am going to do. So I am going to go for the heal pulse into the Snorlax, and I'm going to go for high horsepower into Golden Go. I could see Incineroar trying to switch in one and then protect the other, which is fine. I get back to full anyway, which is nice. And then we'll play around later. Primarina protects. Is this double protect, or did the Golden Go attack? The Golden Go attacked. Beautiful. So I get the KO into Golden Go. I get a heal pulse into Snorlax. This is looking really nice right now. This is looking incredibly nice, as we do get a heal pulse off into the Slowking, or into the Snorlax from the Slowking, and get back to full HP, which would have allowed us to survive any Primarina attack. And now looking pretty good. Incineroar can come in, which is okay. Protect, Calm Mind, Hyper Voice. He wants to Moonblast or Dazzling Gleam as the last move. So I'm feeling pretty good about my situation. I'm gonna go for in game. It's nice because I can Sucker Punch threaten the end game. I think there's not really much that I have to do here. I think I'm just gonna go for a Scald and an Incineroar. And I actually think I am gonna just attempt to double edge to Primarina. Because if they fake out Moonblast, they don't KO the Snorlax, and I can heal pulse the damage the next turn. And if they go greedy like they did of trying to read the protect on Snorlax, I get a huge punish there. So that is absolutely immaculate. As we do get the KO on Primarina with the double edge, a Scald into Incineroar. Almost takes a knockout into Incineroar with the critical hit. Very, very nice. And they go for a knockoff into the Snorlax, but it's nowhere near enough damage. All right, Dragapult is the last, and we should have the game. I wouldn't say it's 100% sealed, but it's looking pretty dang sealed, I would think. Dragapult as the last. I go for Scald. Wait, how many times did I trick him? Is this the last one? No, 2. Okay, so I can Scald the Incineroar this turn, which should be able to KO any Incineroar Terra. And I'm going to go for the high horsepower into the Dragapult. They're going to go for a Terra. I think they have to go for a Hope, like what? A Terra. Okay, not the Incineroar. It's the Terra on the Dragapult. Going to be the Terra Dragon, which makes sense. But I think we have the game secured. High horsepower does land on the Dragapult too, so we don't miss. We get the KO on the Dragapult, and the Scald will come out into Incineroar. I don't think Dragon Dart's crit from Terra Dragon was going to KO Snorlax because the damage is spread between the Snorlax and the Slowking. And then I could have just went for double edge. But of course, if they had Protect on the Dragapult, maybe it was still a game. But I still had a pretty healthy Tauros, and the King Gambit had Sucker Punch as a threat. So it looked really unlikely. I think the fact that we learned it wasn't Haze Primarina and we got into that one position, they got really greedy with the setup. Yeah, but my position just ended up being so much better because I got the Trick Room off, I got the Belly Drum set up, and then I was just ready to go in, and then they got the read wrong on the target and I got it right, and then it just really snowballed because I heal pulsed, got back Snorlax to full. Okay, it's this strategy with the usually it's like explosion on the what's it called, the why can't I remember the Golem, explosion Golem with like Toxic Orb on the Tatsugiri. So I'm kind of okay with this general strategy for the most part. I'm gonna go for Slowking lead. Slowking lead is good. With the Snorlax. In the back, I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to make this safe with. Probably Rillaboom for fake out pressure. The Flamigo is the one that I'm a little bit scared of. That one's actually a little bit terrifying. I want to bring Tauros. Tauros isn't really that great. I feel like having terrain might be helpful. Yeah, this is tough. Because Dragapult seems nice for offense, but the problem is I don't know if Dragapult's enough. I think I'm bringing Rillaboom Tauros. I don't think King Gambit does nearly enough in this matchup to really justify it. I think they're just going to go for the explosion strat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for a... Well, let's see how this works, because I'm hoping that Snorlax can clutch this one up. I'm gonna go for... Let's see. I'm hoping for Explosion turn 1. That's the goal here. Golem Torterra is not what I expected to lead. What? Okay. Is this still Explosion? I'm trying to figure out. All right, I'm going to Rillaboom then, and I'm going to protect the Snorlax because it's kind of... It switches into a grass move. It switches into electric move. I was not expecting the Torterra lead, but sure. I can manage just fine. I have my Tauros that's still pretty good against this. So did they have Dondozo Tatsugiri? Like my entire game plan against Dondozo Tatsugiri, especially with this, was I was going to skill swap the Unaware from the Dozo turn 2. I was going to Terra Electric Trick Room turn 1, then try to attempt to skill swap as they probably protect, and then I skill swap afterward. All right, we go for protect with our Snorlax. Let's see what they decide to go for. Okay. I did not think they were gonna be Shell Smash. Wait. Wait, that's actually kind of smart. Wait, no, that means they get the Flamigo in, doesn't it? Huh. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. I can't lie, that is kind of cool. Explosion is probably Choice Band. It's going to do a lot. Yeah, but Rillaboom does tank it. All right, goodbye, Golem. Flamigo is going to be one heck of a mon to try and play against. This Flamigo, okay. Copies the stat change from Torterra, so now we have 2+2 mons. I got to figure out a way to get Trick Room up. Even then, like, it's looking pretty bad. I just protected Snorlax, so they're going to tar down the Snorlax slot. There's really no switching that I have that's super safe. I think I'm just going to attempt to get the Tauros in on the Rillaboom slot. Hope they ignore it, and I'm going to go into Slowking. I don't know. This looks really rough. I'm hoping they give me room to pivot around so I get this Intimidate off like twice, hopefully. It's not Clear Amulet on either, which is nice. So that's +1 on both. A lot less scarier, but I don't know if we're going to live the Entourage with the Slowking. We'll find out. They went for close combat. Beautiful. Great. We're able to tank that with the Slowking. Stone Edge. Okay, but we do tank it just fine. All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, we have some wiggle room. Some. It's not great wiggle room, but we do have wiggle room. I'm going to go into Rillaboom, and I'm going to go out into Snorlax once again. The plan here is, I think in the end game, I can definitely get Trick Room up and probably sweep with my Tauros. Potentially. There is a chance I do sack Tauros too. Bring out the Rillaboom. Because I'm sacking Rillaboom here. I'm trying to get in the regenerated health, so I'm getting my Snorlax in. Hoping they close combat or Brave Bird the other slot. They did Brave Bird that slot. Beautiful. Because that's actually important for me. All right, cool. Nice. Woodhammer, it's gonna hurt. It's +1 grassy terrain, but we are able to hang on, which is the clutch part. Okay, beautiful. Nice. That's a huge survival. We can now go out into Slowking. I do want to go Slowking. I think with the +1, and after we got the health back, I can now go for Trick Room. I really hope that I don't know what the last mon is though. Could be Umbreon. Umbreon's actually rough. We'll see. I am gonna go for a Trick Room. And with Terra Electric. So I am gonna Trick Room, and I'm gonna go for Protect with Snorlax. Okay. It's been rough, but it's manageable. The thing is, they have options to Terra, so this game's nowhere near over. Slowking will Terra into the electric, so we resist Brave Bird, and we're neutral to the Wood Hammer. They went for the Brave Bird. Did they double up? Okay, they went for Headlong Rush into Snorlax, thankfully. All right, beautiful. If they had went for... Oh man, that could have been so much different, thankfully. Okay, cool. If they had went for the Headlong Rush into the Slowking, would have been a different story, but thank goodness it's not. I think Double Edge will KO the Flamigo, so I'm gonna go for a Heal Pulse into Snorlax, get back my health, and Double Edge the Flamigo. Because I do need to KO the Flamigo now. Unfortunately, I don't have Psychic or Ice Beam or any of that. Double Edge going to come out in the Flamigo. Does pick up the knockout. It was -1 defense. Maybe it was -2. I think it was -1 for the close combat. It was -1 because it Brave Bird a bunch of times. Excellent. Heal Pulse to Snorlax. So we get back a bunch of HP and they go for Headlong Rush into the Slowking. Beautiful, because the Slowking is not... Well, it's done its job. Now I can get my Tauros in for free. And Tauros in for free is excellent. Although I have no idea what the Terra on the Torterra is. That's my only concern. It is -2. Well, it's going to be a neutral attack now, which is great for my Snorlax. Is it Umbreon last? I'm trying to figure out if it's Umbreon last. It is Umbreon last. Okay. I don't think Psych Up changes anything here. If the Umbreon carries Psych Up, I think it gets access to Psych Up. Yeah, it should, because Sylveon does. It's -1 in defenses. I'm going to go for Raging Bull. Do I Belly Drum is the question. I think I Belly Drum with Snorlax. Maybe I should close combat to Torterra, or maybe I should have doubled it up with Double Edge. Belly Drum's risky because of foul play. The Torterra is at neutral, so it's not like the worst. I want Belly Drum so I can actually knock out the Umbreon, and if they Protect Stall, it's kind of nice. But I have no idea what the Umbreon is supposed to carry on this team. Oh, we see a Terra. I have a feeling I made a mistake. Okay, it's Umbreon, that Terra though. Is that poison? No, Psych? Oh no, it's stored power. That's fine because we went for the Belly Drum. They didn't protect either. Okay, that's awesome. Because I should be able to KO the okay, I should get the KO onto the Torterra with Raging Bull. Because it is -1. Okay. It's not over yet, but that's huge. The Umbreon copied a -1 defense. It's +2 speed, +2 special attack. I have no idea if it actually KOs Tauros, because Umbreon's special attack stat is not great. It's also like doesn't have any defense boost. I don't know if it KOs, but we will go for a Raging Bull, and we will go for a Double Edge into the Umbreon. And no Protect, so I just end up KOing the Umbreon. I thought it was over. When I saw that Shell Smash, I'm like, wait a minute. Genius. But some pivoting that worked out really well, and they didn't double the Slowking. They had doubled the Slowking. It was over. It was over. But it was kind of a gamble because there was also a chance, like one of the plays I considered was going for the Tauros switch for Snorlax, because then I think I would be able to live the double up from the Torterra. Well, if they would hammer it, I didn't think they were going to Headlong Rush there, so that could have been different, but thankfully I got the call right on like who they were targeting, and because of that I was able to get the Trick Room up, and that Trick Room was so clutch alongside the Heal Pulse. Venusaur, Torkoal, Ursaluna, Gastrodon, Indeedee plus the Reuniclus. This is going to be a tough one. Sun is not, I would say, a fun matchup, but we'll see what we can do. I'm going to go with Snorlax, and I think Slowking is good here. I'm probably pivoting to Rillaboom because Rillaboom's strong. I want Dragapult as the last or Tauros, because Tauros not a bad mon here. I think I might need Tauros or Dragapult. Having a Facade switching would be really nice, but having Intimidate is also really good. I think we're gonna go Tauros. Dragapult is nice, but I don't know if we're gonna see I don't know if we're gonna see like all the tools that's good against. I just am not sure if we're gonna see like Torkoal, Venusaur. I think Torkoal Venusaur is scary, but like Indeedee is kind of annoying for the Dragapult on my set. Indeedee Reuniclus is perfect for me. Okay. As I lead Slowking plus the Snorlax. This is a Belly Drum, should be super safe, and a swap to my Rillaboom to get rid of this Psychic Terrain. So we'll go out in a Rillaboom. We're gonna go for a Belly Drum. Should be generally safe. Let's see what they decide to do. The Reuniclus will come out. Or a Rillaboom will come out to take on the Psychic types. Get rid of this terrain. Helping Hand coming out. All right. This could be like Life or Magic Art, I suppose. Size Shock. Okay, it wasn't Expanding Force. That's so much damage. All right. I do like... Well, I mean, I don't like how I took so much damage. I don't know if I can really recover all the health, but I definitely am going to try. I think we go for a Fake Out into the Reuniclus, and we're going to high horsepower the Indeedee. I'm surprised they stay in and no protects involved. Follow Me going to come out. All right. I'm okay with Follow Me. Reuniclus flinches. We are able to get a high horsepower off into the Indeedee. Pick up the knock on the Indeedee. It does allow a faster threat to come out, but I don't think this is too bad. The Snorlax is healing a little bit by bit. We're going to see Torkoal come in, which is an interesting decision here. I'll gladly take the Torkoal coming in. I'm going to go for a U-turn into Reuniclus, and I'm just going to go for Protect. I could also Terra Fire Woodhammer. I don't know if I like that. I don't need to Terra Electric on my Slowking. I don't need to Terra Grass on you. I don't need to Terra Grass on you. I guess actually I would probably Terra this out of anything. I'm going to go for the Woodhammer into Reuniclus. I'm going to go for Protect. I don't know. Would you Trick Room here? This is such a weird spot because if I attack with the Snorlax, you're in such a weird position. I didn't reveal Protect. I'm going for the Terra Fire to resist the Eruption or Heat Wave that the Snorlax or that the Torkoal can throw off, because I can go for a 2 Woodhammers KO to Reuniclus, and I think that's part of my game plan here. Yeah. Grassy Glide will also pick up the knockout there, it looks like. They did go for Trick Room. That was risky. That's extremely risky, but it pays off for my opponent. Okay. Trick Room comes out. Snorlax heals a little bit. I have Thick Fat. I feel like I can live maybe one Torkoal attack. I'm really scared if it's... Well, we'll play it as we go along. I'm going for Grassy Glide and high horsepower into the Snorlax. Or into the Torkoal. I think I have to hit high horsepower too. Ally switch. Well, at least I get rid of the Reuniclus with Grassy Glide, but I don't know if I'll live the Eruption. It's not Terra Fire Eruption. But I have Fake Fat, but it's still Sun Boost. Oh, they went for Heat Wave. Oh, Snorlax ate that up. I think we're going to take the Eruption too. High horsepower going to finish off the Torkoal. Let's go, Snorlax. That's what I love to see. Snorlax taking the knockout into the Torkoal. Beautiful. Ursaluna comes out. Excellent. They still have Terra. Terra Ghost is still pretty decently likely here. I'm going to go out into my Tauros for the Intimidate, and I'm just going to go for a high horsepower into the Ursaluna. Okay. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. So we'll get Intimidate off with the Tauros, so the Ursaluna is now -1. I don't even know if it can knock out the Snorlax. They go for Protect with the Ursaluna. Perfect. So I got a free Intimidate off, basically. High horsepower going to fail into the Ursaluna. That's all right. Do I think the Ursaluna is faster than the Slowking? That's going to be an interesting note here because I actually have no idea. But I do have a really cool play I could go for. I'm going to go into Slowking and I'm going to go for a Protect with my Snorlax. I could go Rillaboom, but I think I should be able to live one Facade with Slowking because of the Intimidate. We do see a Terra involved here, which makes a lot of sense. What is your Terra on the Ursaluna? Terra Ghost, yeah, exactly as I anticipated. Okay, perfect. So I have two options. I can Heal Pulse my Snorlax, or I do have Skill Swap. And Skill Swap getting rid of the Guts on the Ursaluna seems like a really strong play here. They do go for the Facade into the Snorlax. Beautiful. I wonder if I should Heal Pulse in case they try to Protect. I feel like I'd rather just attempt to Skill Swap realistically and just high horsepower to Ursaluna. I was gonna be forfeited. Okay. I think they might have had a chance, but looks like they don't believe so. Snorlax plus Slowking was mainly it was the Snorlax though. I was able to have Snorlax next to Rillaboom. I could have cleaned up an endgame with Skill Swap, but looks like I didn't need to. All right, let's go over the games. In game 1, Tauros was important as a pivot between the grass types alongside Incineroar, and finding the opening to set up with the Belly Drum Snorlax under Trick Room allowed me to start picking up the knockouts. In game 2, very scary team that I should have brought Dragapult or King Gambit for. The Hurricanes from the Braviary hit hard, but luckily Terra Electric Slowking came in clutch to set up Trick Room alongside my Snorlax, outspeeding their Torkoal under Trick Room. In game 3, found a position to get the Trick Room and Belly Drum setup as my opponent got greedy with a double setup and then got the target call wrong. In game 4, the Torterra was terrifying. It was Shell Smash, but was able to somehow get Trick Room up with the right calls and clean up after they lowered their defenses. In game 5, Psyshock Reuniclus did a lot of damage to Snorlax, but Thick Fat allowing the Snorlax to tank the fire move from Torkoal under the sun even with low health and then pick up the knockout from there. Overall, I think Snorlax is a really cool combination. I felt like Slowking was a nice partner to it. I do think that there are probably different directions that you could go for with this team. I still think Sinistcha Snorlax does have a lot of potential, but of course if you are leading it, which is kind of awkward, you can't do the hospitality thing. So I feel like if you do want to lead the Trick Room with Snorlax plus the Trick Room on, I feel like hospitality can get awkward at times while having the immediate 50% healing with the Slowking Heal Pulse, and the Skill Swap I think can be really solid. We have just a lot that I did enjoy about this team. I think the Fire Tauros was a really good pairing. I'm really glad I had it over what was the Incineroar. I felt like it just played a lot smoother, and yeah, allowed me to have more offensive pressure than just really relying on that Snorlax. And of course the Rillaboom that could do a lot. I think Dragapult, we didn't get to really use it too much. I don't think we really got to use King Gambit too much either, but I do think they're solid Pokemon. Maybe could change on this team. There are a lot of different modes I could see that could just pair well with this team in general, but felt like the Snorlax Slowking was able to do what I want to do. Just able to set up Belly Drum and sweep teams. If you would like to check out the details of the team, they'll be linked in the description down below. If you would like to try out the rental code, make sure you grab it because there is a very limited time. So make sure you grab this team while you can. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.